The Chargers won 11 games and made the playoffs in Jim Harbaugh's first season as head coach. But in Justin Herbert's 5 seasons, the Chargers have yet to win a single playoff game. Justin Herbert is the only quarterback drafted in the top 10 since at least 2005 with an 0-2 record or worse his first 5 years in the NFL playoffs. The only one. Meanwhile, the AFC West is getting stronger and stronger around the Chargers. While they are still projected to finish second in the division, the Broncos with the young Bo Nix and the Raiders with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith are bringing respectability to round out the division. So Ray, why do you think that the Chargers need to nail their draft picks here in the 2025 draft to turn things around for this franchise?
I mean, I think they're really close. Obviously, that loss against the Texans was disappointing, and what we saw, with Herbert, that was not great. But then you look at they did really well from a draft pick perspective last year, and really hitting and making, kind of remaking the secondary a little bit, remaking their team a little bit. They still have needs on defense, but I think that they're really close. And if I'm looking at, okay, where do we need on defense? Where do we need to improve? The defensive line is not great. They lost 2 starters off that defensive line, most notably Poona Ford. That's a place they need to step up. You see a lot of mock drafts where they're taking Kenneth Grant in the first round. That Michigan connection with both Minter and Harbaugh, and I think that makes a lot of sense. They lose Bosa. Bosa's now playing with the Bills, so they need Thule to step up and really be that guy. But you look at that unit, and they have Bud Dupree and they have Khalil Mack. Both of them are on 1-year contracts, or in the last year of their contracts, but they have a good top 3 there, but they could still maybe use some depth. And then the secondary is very interesting to me because last year they hit on day 3 guys with Cam Hart and with Tariq Still, and those 2 guys, along with Derwin James playing in the slot, and the quality they have at safety with Elijah Molden, who was signed to an extension, and with Gilman, like that top 5 is really good. They brought in some veteran defensive backs, Dante Jackson most notably, that can fill in the depth. And I look at this defense and I see it and I go, we never want to say a team is 1 or 2 players away. That's not really how it works in the NFL. But I look at it, and with the youth they have at linebacker too, with those 2 younger players, with Henley and Colson, then I see all of this and I say, if they just added maybe 2 quality defensive linemen, maybe a little bit of youthful depth on the edge, you're feeling really good about this defense. They have a couple things they need to add on offense, but I mean, their offensive line looks to be in great shape. So we're talking about like 1 or 2 players maybe on offense, and suddenly we're talking about like a real team. And then we just need the Chargers to not be the Chargers. So like, is it going to be the I fell for it award again with the Chargers this year? I'm not sure, but I go through this depth chart. They're very, very close to being one of those really good teams in the AFC.
Statistically, they were solid on defense last year. We did have some questions about the schedule, the strength of that schedule that they played, but they were solid for most part. You just mentioned a couple of positions they might want to look into. Rich, on the offensive side of the ball, what we know that Justin Herbert, in those 5 years, I was surprised to see that he was the only quarterback with that 0-2 record since at least 2005. That was a top 10 draft pick that couldn't get there and win more games, that has futility in the postseason to that degree. This team does need to get back on track so that people stop questioning, is Justin Herbert a good quarterback? Because he obviously is a good quarterback, but what do you think that this team needs to address on the offensive side of the football in this draft to improve enough to have some success in the postseason this year?
Yeah, they just need more explosive playmakers. The offensive line is in real good shape. The one bugaboo that they're going to run into is that they're going to have to give Rashawn Slater a really big contract. He's playing on the 5th year option this year. He's due like Tristan Wirfs money. Zion Johnson, they can pick up the 5th year option on him. He's kind of underperformed on his rookie contract, but they'll probably surely pick that up. They had Mekhi Becton in free agency. Like, this is a good offensive line, like you would expect a Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh team to have, right? You add Will Dissly to that too. It's like an extra lineman. Maybe they add a pass catching tight end to the mix. Colston Loveland, obviously has that Michigan connection. You see him linked there. They also used a top visit on Mason Taylor if they don't want to use that aggressive pick, or if Loveland's just gone by the time that they pick, which is a real possibility. At wide receiver, they hit on Ladd McConkey, but outside wide receiver, Quentin Johnson, still a volatile player. You add Mike Williams. What does Mike Williams have left? Age 31, a year removed from ACL. Can he still get open? Can he be a downfield threat? Like that are questions remain to be seen. And they just made a low leverage signing on Najee Harris at running back, who is, a hardball Roman type of guy, but not an explosive runner, very low leverage contract. His best ability so far in the NFL has just been availability, or his, he doesn't miss any games. So that's how he continues to accrue yardage. So they just need big playmakers. That's all and like Ray said, like, you can probably get those guys around. Like, you can take someone with speed with a later pick, maybe not invest that type of significant capital, but they can kind of pick their poison here with what the picks that they have and see kind of what falls into their lap on offense a little bit. But they just need more speed and explosive playmakers.